June Havens just got off from a relationship, so she was just doing what she loved most, and that was restoring old cars. That day, she was traveling back from Boston, where she bumped into a guy. So cute. Her heart flattered. And then, they bumped into each other again before boarding. They laughed and chatted for a few seconds. June felt good. She was a little bit excited when she found out that the cute guy was on the same flight as her. He introduces himself. His name is Roy Miller. They chatted, and June felt that she really liked this guy. But she got nervous, so she went to the toilet. Little did she know, Roy Miller is not some typical cute guy. Roy began fighting with the other passenger while June was in the toilet. Roy was actually a CIA agent. All of the other passengers were actually dispatched by his former partner to retrieve something from him. June came out from the restroom only a few seconds after the fight. Roy did his best to explain that the pilot was dead because he had shot him. June giggles. Probably because the drug that Roy put in her drink began to work. When Roy was attempting to land the jet, the 0.1% consciousness left on June's brain was making her realize that everyone on board was dead. Eventually, the aircraft crashed. Roy and June managed to get out of the plane. June nearly passed out, but Roy managed to warn her that CIA agents would be coming after her. The following morning, June woke up in her house feeling strange. Roy had put notes all over her place. Did Roy spend the night here? Even though she was still confused, she planned to carry on with her day as usual. She then proceeded to her sister's wedding dress fitting. June looked stunning in her yellow bridesmaid gown. Then, someone informed June that her truck was about to receive a ticket, so she ran out to get it. Unfortunately, that was not it. It was the CIA agents that Roy warned her about last night. She was taken from the bridal shop. June was terrified of what was going to happen to her. Will she be murdered? Well, not today. Roy had come to save her. Roy told June about the Zephyr. It was a powerful energy source that never ran out created by Simon. Roy and Fitzgerald were assigned to guard Simon and the Zephyr, but Fitzgerald wanted to steal the Zephyr and sold it to Quintana. He framed Roy. Roy took the Zephyr. Now he had to get Simon from the safe house. When June and Roy reached the safe house, Simon was not there. He left a clue on where his location was. Then they were attacked and captured by Quintana's man. June was drugged and out of consciousness almost all the time when Roy was saving her from Quintana's man. She woke up on a train to Austria, where Roy had found Simon. They checked in at a hotel that night for some rest. After making a phone call, Roy went out to meet someone. Curious, June follows Roy to a meeting where she overheard him offer to sell the Zephyr. June felt cheated. She would never have thought Roy was the one who tried to sell the Zephyr. She walked away and met Isabel and Fitzgerald. They revealed Roy used her at the airport to smuggle the Zephyr past security. She doesn't know what or who to believe. June was even more sad. June led them to the hotel, and Roy was shot. He fell into the river with the Zephyr. She believed Roy was dead. June was sent home and felt empty inside. She attended her sister's wedding and other things that she would always do. But still, she believed that Roy was telling her the truth, and that maybe Roy was not dead after all. But how will she find him? Suddenly, she remembered an address that Roy was monitoring. She figured maybe it was his safe house. It turned out to be Roy's parents' house. She learned his real name is Matthew, and his parents thought that he was killed in action. In reality, he was recruited by the CIA and had to let go of his old identity. But he still cared for his parents. June realized that Roy was not a bad guy. Roy is a strategist. It was his plan all along. To get killed by the CIA, so June would be safely sent back to Boston and attend her sister's wedding. So, she had a plan. Find Roy. She figured Roy must be somewhere around Quintana's location by now. She left a message on her own answering machine declaring she has the Zephyr. Quintana's man took her. Around the same time, Fitzgerald forcibly took Simon to Quintana. Roy also reached Quintana's place, following the tracker that he put on Fitzgerald. He wanted to save Simon, but then he hears June's voice. So, he rescues June first and leads Quintana and his men on a car chase. Quintana is killed by a bull stampede. Roy managed to save Simon, But he was shot by Fitzgerald after Roy traded Fitzgerald the Zephyr for Simon. Simon told Roy that the Zephyr was unstable. It exploded in Fitzgerald's hand, resulting in his death. Roy is hospitalized in Washington. Isabel told him that June had moved on and welcomed him back to the CIA, and reassured him that he will be safe and secure. It was a coded language that reveals he will be killed. A nurse entered his room doing routine treatment, and Roy felt lightheaded. He was drugged. June, disguised as a nurse, breaks him out of the hospital. When Roy wakes up, June reveals that they are going to Cape Horn for a long time, which was June's next and final plan, to be with Roy together forever,